Hello everybody, this is Gregory with 5-Minute Catholic Apologetics, where 5 minutes of your time may get you to the divine. Today we're going to talk about my recent experience at a pro-life fundraiser whose guest speaker was Tim Tebow. Now before we begin, let's start with a prayer. Nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritui Sancti, Amen. Gloria Patri et Filii et Spiritui Sancto, secutora in principio et nunc et semper et seculi seculorum. Amen. Nomine Patris et Filii. So I went to a fundraiser that was supported or I guess organized by an apostolate or outreach that helps give free ultrasounds and other services to women that are contemplating abortion. They set these up in front of abortion clinics, typically Planned Parenthood. And so they had a fundraiser. They do this a couple of times a year. And this year they were able to get Tim Tebow to come be the speaker. So Tim Tebow, if you're not familiar, is one of the most renowned college football players of the last 30-40 years. He won 2 championships with Florida, I believe. I'm not a big college football fan. And he won the Heisman Trophy. He did have a career in the NFL. He did lead, I think it was the Broncos to a playoff win and so forth. But his skills didn't really translate as well to pro football. But either way, he was in college, many of you might remember. He was very overtly Christian. He would talk a lot about Jesus Christ. He doesn't cuss. If I'm not mistaken, he did not lose his virginity until he got married. Speaking of that, he did end up marrying a Miss Universe from South Africa. I think Miss Universe 2017, who's 10, 11 years younger than him. And of course, you can do this when you have very high SMV. And so, congratulations to him. And she was at this event. She's a beautiful woman. Okay, so a couple of things. The organizer, creator of this apostolate that does ultrasounds for women is a Catholic. He is a Catholic. And so let's focus on the positives. Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow is a Protestant, no doubt. He's an evangelical Protestant. His speech did have a lot of Christian stuff in it. He talked about Jesus Christ quite a bit. And it was a good speech. He made a lot of jokes, self-effacing jokes about himself. And it was great. And look, to his credit, when you see so many athletes living a dissolute life, having illegitimate kids, of course, embracing the secularist value, so to speak, of drugs and fornication and kind of pushing this hedonistic anti-Christian message. It's extremely refreshing to see an athlete who is avowedly pro-life. Some of you might know Tim Tebow. His mother was told to abort him because it looked like he was going to have birth defects and so forth, and she did not, and he ended up being a phenomenal athlete. And so he is a great messenger for that. And so I really have nothing to knock on Tebow. If he does this circuit and makes a lot of money or makes money from doing these speaking at guest conferences and so forth, either Catholic, evangelical, or whatever, that's great. I don't have a problem with it, and I wish him the best. Going back to that episode, I talked about the number one group that really peeves me. So the organizer of this event was a Catholic, but the group was probably, I would say, at least 50% Catholic, for sure. And there was probably about 400 people there. They had a 2-night event. And of course, the whole point was to fundraise money for this event. And what I was disappointed was this guy, in my opinion, humble opinion, he put mammon in front of his own faith. Because the blessing at the beginning, he did not do the sign of the cross. Now, some of you are going to say, oh my God, this is so legalistic. You're thinking of such a little thing. No, this is important. If you are a Catholic, which he admitted later on at the end he was a Catholic, you do a blessing that, you can make it kind of milquetoast and apply it to kind of a Christian theme, but you should do a sign of the cross. But he probably didn't want to do a sign of the cross because he didn't want to alienate any potential fundraisers or any potential donors. And so through much of the speeches, it was kind of like hiding the Catholic faith. Now, near the end, and there were priests there. I had been to a pro-life banquet before where it was run by a Catholic, and they had a priest come up and do the blessing at the beginning. It was a mixed crowd. So again, openly and unabashedly Catholic, you get a priest to do the blessing, sign the cross. People, this guy, nothing overtly Catholic. Now, after Tebow spoke and everybody cut the checks, then he did some things and mentioned that he was a Catholic, and he mentioned he dropped the Virgin Mary a couple of times. So I was like, yeah, a little too late. Everyone's already made the donation. And that's what bothered me. If you're Catholic, you must practice your faith and live by your faith. And part of that is being openly Catholic. Who cares if you alienate people? What are you going to tell Jesus when you die? Oh, I didn't want to alienate any fundraisers, and I get it. It's a good cause, but it doesn't matter. You don't kowtow away from your faith. You should be very open about your faith, and I wish he would have done that. With Tebow, of course, I'll pray for his conversion that he become a Catholic. I think he's a good Christian man. I do worry about him. He and his Miss Universe wife. Both of them have probably lived their whole life with so much adulation and praise that I think that you really have to be vigilant and on watching out for narcissistic feed, because both of them in their own unique way. Imagine marrying a Miss Universe. I mean, how much praise and adulation you get for your beauty there. And of course, Tim Tebow was, since a very young age, always praised and adulated for his physical prowess and just being a two-time national champion and so forth. So you just got to be careful with that. But would I've liked to have seen him just mention some Catholic things? Sure, but he's not Catholic, so I'm not going to hold it against him. And of course, I'm not of this erroneous far-right Catholic belief that all Protestants go to hell or anything like that. He is doing God's work. He is doing works of mercy, and God bless him for doing that. So overall, I thought the night was great. Hopefully they did raise some money. One of my pet peeves is like the whole speech and all the speeches that were there were all like, you got to fight for the cause, pro-life, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And instead of saying there are different ways to fight for pro-life, they insinuate, and Tebow did this too, and of course, he's paid to give this speech, so it's like the only way essentially to fight pro-life is to donate money to this cause. And I didn't like that. I mean, you can mention, write to your legislator, do 40 Days for Life, which is praying in front of a Planned Parenthood clinic. There's other things that you can do, of course, pray and so forth, to fight against pro-choice or pro-abortion. So the whole idea, like the whole optic was, the only way to do it is by writing a check. I really didn't like that. I would like be more honest and just have a more open narrative of like, look, this is a very important postulate. Clearly, we're here because of this. Please be generous with your money. God loves a generous giver. We see in 2 Corinthians and so forth. And of course, please, do all these other things if you don't feel gracious or feel open or maybe don't have the money to donate. But overall, I think it was a great cause. My pet peeve was with the Catholic organizers, that they were ashamed to be Catholic. Short. Guys, please hit the notification, subscribe, and share button, share with other people. Until next time, take care, God bless. Let us know what you think about Tim Tebow or any fundraisers you've been to. I'd like to hear from you. Take care, God bless.